Appropriate. The Chosin just came in tonight, and the theme of tonight's sheet is about if women are obligated in havdalah.
Okay.
So,
Okay.
it's very important for the Chosin to know, because if women are obligated, and if not, it's very relevant. If a husband listens to havdalah in shul, now if women are obligated to havdalah, he can make it again when he comes home. Why? Because the principle is, if there's another person, one Jew in the entire globe who didn't do a mitzvah, it's as if I didn't do a mitzvah. There's one Jew that didn't put on tefillin, it's as if I didn't put on tefillin. Therefore, I could make the bracha for that person. If that person doesn't know how to make the bracha for tefillin, I'll make it for them. Because I'm putting on tefillin myself, really. Because if they didn't put...
Is there really a halachic makor for that?
That's what the Gemara says. Kol Yisrael Arevim Zebazeh.
Right.
That's the Gemara in Rosh Hashanah.
So
and that's the halacha. That's
that
absolutely
degree?
100% to that degree. 100% to that degree.
Something applying with shofar.
Shofar, that's where it's
You
brought.
heard the shofar, you heard the bracha, you made it, everything. You finish davening, somebody outside doesn't know how to make the bracha. You actually make the bracha.
But that, obviously, sure, so we do things, we try to help Yidden, but that's very powerful to say that if that Yid doesn't keep Shabbat, I'm not... So,
and one of the...
This is very...
that's very much.
It means something very much.
And this halacha, like Shmulik said, is brought in the Tur and in the Shulchan Aruch in the halachas of shofar, which is Simen
But I think by shofar, the women could make the bracha, you ask her to make it, and then you blow.
Yeah.
If you're in a situation, the women not make the bracha.
Otherwise, you can't make it because they're not chayiv.
Right.
But the havdalah, the shaila is if the women are obligated. So if my wife didn't hear havdalah, I didn't hear havdalah. So even if I heard it, I could make it again. Yeah. But if
like a kiddush.
It's like kiddush. But if you say that women are not obligated in havdalah, so how can I? If I already heard havdalah, how can I make havdalah a second time? It's just saying Hashem's name in vain. Right. I already heard havdalah. So therefore, the Alter Rebbe says that a person, when they hear havdalah in shul, should have it specifically in mind that I don't want to be yoitza. So this way, when I get home, I could still make havdalah for my wife. Because if I didn't have that clearly in mind, then maybe I was yoitza.
Well, what are we saying is the halakha regarding the women's obligation?
We don't know. It's
a thing.
Because it's a machloikis. There's no psak in this.
Yeah.
Page Shin Chaf. We're holding. It's Siman Reish Tzadik Vav Tzif Yud Zayin.
That's like a major thing. I like that concept very much. That at the same time, why is there reward and punishment? How is there anything like that? Or people having Bakira, or saying that they just don't want to do it. They don't want to do Shabbat. They don't want to do it.
Well, that's why Kol Yisrael Arevim Zebazeh, that the Eden went into a bond of Arevus, that we are responsible for each other. Obviously, there is a difference in the degree of responsibility that I have to myself for someone else, because I have more control over myself than I have on someone else. Mm-hmm. But I have to put in the full measure of influence to try to influence another Yid. Mm-hmm. That's the mitzvah of Arvus, and it's very powerful that you see.
It's very powerful. That's a whole...
Okay, let's start. It's not that much. We're finishing Siman Reish Tzadik Vav. As I said, the main thing tonight is about the obligation of women, if they're obligated or not obligated to do havdalah. Sif Yud Zayin. Shliach Tzibur. המאבדל בייס הכנסת אף שנסקב על ידי חבוסי וכן לכם שם נסקב על ידי חבוסם וכן למלאזר להבדל בבתים להויצים לבית מהקטנים שלוי בבייס הכנסת. Even if he already heard Havdalah in the shul, you can come home and make Havdalah for his little children. Why? Because our sages said there's a special thing of chinuch, you have to teach your children. So the Chazal said you're allowed to make a bracha for children, even though you don't have to, because that's a mitzvah of chinuch. That's the mitzvah of chinuch. But adults, they were not in the basic necessities. They can make Havdalah on their own. Let them make their own Havdalah. As we'll say later, unless they can't. And then I'm obligated to make it for them. A person who specifically had in mind when he was in shul not to be yoitza. Even the person who's a shlich tzibur who's saying havdalah, so he had in mind not to be yoitza, but havdalah the must do again havdalah in his house.
That's kind of strange. You're making a havdalah to make for other people, and you have not to be yoitza.
Because some shuls still do it. Havdalah is in the nusach tefillah. Just like the Shav shuls still have the minig from the time of the Shas that they make kiddush in the basic Knesses, but no one's really yotze from that kiddush. So they also make havdalah, and it's sort of part of the davening. They do it before Aleinu. So clearly, this is not really for anyone to be yotze. So Shlich Tzibur has in mind he's not yotze. So therefore, the minig of the welt is that everyone goes home and makes havdalah. Even though they're all in shul, they have no in mind to be yotze. Havdalah in the shul. Everything he said in the Sif is only talking about in the case like the shul, Ashkenaz shuls, where they make havdalah before Aleinu. So the whole idea of that havdalah is sort of, it's part of the tefillah, just like Friday night, it's to keep the old minig. It's not really to make kiddush havdalah. So therefore no one has in mind to be yotzim. But if you go in Beis Menachem Mendel and Peretz Davidson is making havdalah, that's serious havdalah. That's real havdalah. He's making it to be yotzim for himself and for the Bnei Chabura, for everyone else. So that's a real havdalah. So if you listen to that havdalah, you have to have you want to still make havdalah at home, you have to have in mind that I don't want to be yotzim. I think I mentioned this last year in the Svita time. There is a minig in many shuls that the Rav says the bracha for Svita Sa'ima.
Only the Rav.
Yeah.
Not the Chaz.
Yeah. It's not a minig Chabad. There used to be in Beis Menachem Mendel, we used to do that until Baruch Hashem was stopped. But there's a tshuva from the Chassam Sofer. Rav asked a question. He forgot to say Svita Sa'ima one day, so it's a shaila. Now you're not allowed to make the bracha. But everyone in the Kehillah is going to wait. That's an embarrassment.
So he makes the bracha. That's what they pass.
Some services make a bracha anyway. Yeah. But what's the reason that the Rav should make it? So they say, because if the Chazan has to make the bracha, the Chazan might be embarrassed. He forgot last night and he can't make a bracha.
Yeah.
That reason is nonsense.
Yeah.
So because we don't want to embarrass the Shliach Tzibur, we're going to embarrass the Rav? That doesn't make sense to me. So I found that I think it was Tshuva Me'ava says the reason. He says a different reason altogether, a very lamdisha reason. He says like this: mitzvahs, a machloikes of mitzvahs need to have a kavana or not. There's an opinion mitzvahs tzrichas kavana, you have to have kavana. The other opinion says ain't tzrichas kavana. If you say mitzvahs ain't tzrichas kavana, so when the Chazan says Baruch Atah Hashem Elokeinu Melech HaMashiach Yisrael Tzvanu Asvira Sa'ima. So everyone was yoitza. Everyone was yoitza.
Yeah, okay.
Sorry, yes, we have no more. It's in the bookcase, but we have more. So we have a problem here. Everyone's verander brengt. So what should we do? So the Alter Rebbe says in Hilchos Sfiras Sa'ima, we should have in mind that I'm not being yoitza from the Chazan, or the Chazan should have in mind that I'm not being moitzi the yoilam. So Tshuva Mava says that what happens to Shlich Tzibur doesn't understand. He's not a lamdan, and he doesn't know. He thinks in his mind when he makes the bracha that everyone is being yoitza from him, and the people are also amaratzim in the shul, and they think they're being yoitza, so they're making double bracha for no reason. So therefore, the Rav has to make the bracha. The Rav knows that he has specifically in mind that the bracha he makes loud is not being moitzi everyone else.
So why does he make it all together?
I don't know. That's the form. That's the.
But the reason why the Rav did make again the bracha, and maybe you could say, okay, you're saying Kabbalah Brigas, and he's the Rav, the Kabbalah Torah, and all of this. But the real reason is because what we do, that if you skipped one night, you don't do it anymore. That's a chumrah, because that's what I heard. That most of the Rishonim hold the other way.
Right.
But that would apply also to the chazan, because you were saying they said a reason. You know what I'm trying to say?
Yeah, exactly.
Doesn't
Doesn't make sense. I think this is always gehalten, this reason.
What?
That the Rav says it because he has in mind
you
that no one.
eliminate this kind of suffix type
No,
situation.
right, exactly.
He knows what he's doing.
Right.
Okay.
Okay, next. Sifut Ches. Shemei Havdala ben Beis Knesset ben Betech Bayis and Skam Lot Tedei Chavosei. Ksham Bechaz Havdala. A person who hears Havdala, Av b'shelo hear b'dayt lots of Havdala Shas Bechaz Yayin. Afil lo Sham Klal Bechaz Yayin. He didn't hear by the Priyagofen, right? How many times does that happen? You come home and you say Havdala. You think all the kids are there, and then all of a sudden there's one kid that comes to life from upstairs, from the other end of the house, and they say, "Oi, they missed by the Priyagofen. They're coming already holding by Besalma or something." So what's the din? They didn't hear by the Priyagofen, so you might think that that's it, it's over. The answer is it's not over. Ein bekach klum, it doesn't matter. Because they were Yotz Havdala. The main thing is that they hear the bracha of Havdala. Chazal said the Havdala has to be in a kois of wine, so it doesn't matter. They can't drink wine after Havdala without making by the Priyagofen. Unless he has a mind that he wants to be Yotze by the Priyagofen and he hears the bracha. But anyway, that's, it's very highly unusual. People start drinking wine right after Havdala and they have a mind when they hear the ikid is they want to be Yotze Havdala.
Yeah, right. So he's saying as long as they hear Havdala,
as long as they have Havdala, Amen, it's finished, exactly.
I want to ask a question before. We said here we read that the guy in the shul, the shliach tzibur that's saying Havdalah, all the people that are listening to him, so they go home and they
make it again.
Even if they were yaitza, but this ketanim, they say it again
for the ketanim.
But if it's Gedalim, the Gedalim can do themselves. So what I want to ask is, what's Lagabe Isha? Isha, she's a Gedailah. She can make her
own. Well, that's next if.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
I'm
talking
about.
When the Rebbe used to make Havdalah in 1770, when he went home and made Havdalah again for the Rebbe?
I can't imagine.
So somebody else made Havdalah for him.
What, she made herself?
But it could be that he was Miskaven Shalol Tzis Dechavos.
Miskaven Shalol Tzis Dechavos. It's hard to imagine. And then he was drinking wine, yain.
Right? How can you drink?
How can you drink it?
He wasn't here to tell.
Yeah.
Then why doesn't they say here? You shouldn't drink either.
You can't say
It seems not clear.
For the shliach tzibur not to drink?
Yeah, he says if he doesn't want to be Yotze, he should be Miskaven not to be Yotze. Why doesn't he not say you can't drink the yain?
That's a good question. Could be, he's referring to the minig that used to be, just like by Kiddush, that the minig was that the person didn't drink it, they used to give it to a kotel. So it could be that the minig was like in Ashkenaz, right? In Ashkenaz shuls, they do it as part of the whole, they do it before Aleinu. They do it as part of the whole.
You mean Kiddush
For-
for Shabbos?
And Havdalah, they don't do before Aleinu? No, when is it?
No, they don't make it.
There are shuls that make it.
No.
No one makes it
Young
as
Yisrael
part
don't
of.
make Havdalah once a Shabbos.
Like this. Here they do.
They do?
Over here, on the
Before Aleinu, after Aleinu.
Wow.
Sometimes they do.
It's so interesting. They don't do it then. Did it by where any Young Yisrael private or something.
No, right here they do it.
The children say
My father's not my
for
grandfather.
Elaine too?
No.
No.
In where I was in
They
Young
did it?
Israel, they did it. Yeah.
Uh-huh.
And if I remember correct, it was before
So did
before
did the
Aleinu.
Chazan drink? Oh, but somebody he had in
So
mind.
no,
He had him on his own.
But then they made because if not,
Have
people
little
go home
kids.
and not gonna
they
drink.
would have a
Always
kid.
kid.
They would have a
Like my
kid.
kid this Friday night. The standard Ashkenazi minute.
There's no difference. No one's talking about that.
It's not a major difference. I'm just
Part of that.
the big difference actually. The difference the difference is if a person is making it before Aleinu, they're doing it It could be, unless they think otherwise. No one has in mind to be yoitza. It's in the siddur. That's what it says. It says to say v'yitin lecha, ata kodesh, v'hi noyam, and then havdalah. Then no one's having in mind to be moitzi or to yoitza. Just like kiddush or beis haknesses.
Nobody. How do you know nobody? Maybe the Russian people.
Because I know that unless you specifically think otherwise, bisman hazeh, like in Beis Menachem Mendel, everyone knows that this havdalah is a real havdalah because people want to be yoitza. If you go bestam in a shul Friday night and you hear kiddush, it's not clear that you're yoitza.
You have to make kiddush from both sides. Nobody eats the meal in the Beis Knesset. But Havdala, like in this young issue, I actually spoke to the rabbi and to the guy who makes Havdala, and they told me this. You just a lot of bakurim and.
Okay, good. That's why we make it Havdalah here too. We make Havdalah here too, Matzah Shabbos.
When they're gonna go home, they know they're gonna want to.
That's why I said. But I was under the impression that there are shuls that make it just because it's in the Nusach HaTfilah. Not necessarily, no one's interested to be yoitza.
I think they're making it because they know the people from the shul are going to go.
So then, so that's a different thing. If there are, so then you versteht
That
that's great. Oh yeah. That type of havdalah is a real havdalah.
Yeah.
That means that means that anyone that wants to not be yoitza has to have in mind not to be yoitza, because of the mitzvah saying tzirich as kavona. So even if you didn't, by default you were yoitza.
Right.
So you have to have in mind that you don't want to be yoitza if it's a real havdalah. Like in our shul, you have to have in mind I don't want to be yoitza, because if you didn't have that in mind, it's a shayla if you could take it again when you come home. Obviously, if there's little kids, you can make it for them. But if there's women, when you come home, there's a shayla.
I mean, also the fact that you're not being inspired to the circle that forms around parrots. You're showing that you don't want to be inspired. You don't want to be.
That's enough.
That's are we saying that? Are we saying that basically it's a topic whether women are?
Yeah, that's a suffix.
It seems so odd. It's getting so basic.
Listening to the watching the video.
You
Yeah.
don't know whether women are obligated or not.
Oh, so let's learn. Let's see. See if you test. Ready?
Okay. Now we're down by time.
Sorry. Saying something?
Yeah, no, go ahead.
According to the opinion that Havdalah is min Torah, like we said yesterday from the Rambam. The Rambam holds that Havdalah is min Torah. You have to sanctify Shabbos going in, going out. Women are obligated.
Like we learned yesterday,
Like
the Rambam.
exactly, like we said yesterday in the Rambam. In Simanesha and Aleph explains that Zoch and Shomer, and the women are obligated in Shomer, so for Shtetzel they're obligated in Zoch and Shomer Shabbos L'Katshei. So men and women are equal when it comes to Shabbos. According to this, they have to do the Tefillah v'alakos. Kitakon Tzacham Shetiknu Alayim Kama Shetiknu Anoshim.
Yeah, but they're not mechuyev in Mayim. Why don't they just say Baruch Havdala and Kodesh L'Chol?
No, because then they won't be able to do the Takonas Chazal. Chazal, it's similar to, we can't say a Tefillah K'tzora in the winter. I can say a Tefillah K'tzora in the winter, because there is no Tefillah K'tzora for the winter. You have to say, say no motor. So that's it. There's no more Tefillah K'tzora for the winter. Same thing with the Shabbos. They're not chayiv. Like when a person on, yeah.
Oh, 8 brachas, 9 brachas.
The shortened version.
Just like 7 brachas.
Yeah. So. Right, exactly. 7 brachas, exactly.
7 brachas.
Three in the middle, right, exactly. So 7. So what does the Gemara say? That no, Anshe Knesset never told us that, and you have to do. You have to do the same Talamotor in Baruch Hashanah, and so that's it. You're out. You can't do it in the winter. You can't do Tefillah K'tzora.
Okay.
So similar to this, women are not obligated in Ma'ariv, but Chazal said to say Ata Chonan Antonu. How did they say to say it? In the bracha of Chonan Ados. So it's a hechet timtz of how to say Ata Chonan Antonu.
Right, but according to the ones that say that you're yoytze with, even though they say it's a deraisa, but can't you also be yoytze in Havdala Alakois?
You could be
Either one, right?
You
say
could.
either one.
True.
So
But we said
if they're hearing Alakois in Havdala, why would they need to stop?
no, because there was a machloikas there. There are those that said, because the Gemara says that they were poor, So they said you have to make atachan and tana. Then they became rich. Chazal said to make it alakois. Then they came poor again. The Chazal said you could do it in the tefillah. So the machlokas is showing them what is it pshat. Now we
So
do
don't
one
know.
or the other. We do both. So lamanda amad you're chayiv to do both. So just like men are chayiv to do both, and women are chayiv.
Right, but it's not
should
the
be different?
raisa.
No,
the
not
raisa.
the raisa. No.
Right, so why?
No, he
I'm
didn't say
saying-
that. He's just saying like
So
this.
why can't women do it just one? Because even though they're chayav to hear
Because
the
why would you
havdalah,
say that Rabbanon would separate men and women on this? Mehechi Taisi, that
because
men and
they're
women
not
are different.
mechuyev, because they're not even mechuyev daven mincha, let alone ma'ariv.
Mincha, they
So
were
why
not
would they
chayiv.
make them do once a week Shmon Esrei, just to make the Yotze Havdalah when they could do it in Alakois and the other husband?
No, because why would, just like Chazal said that you could say Tfilah Tzara when you're in a rush, but in the winter you can't do it, because I want you to say the same Talamotor in the Broche of Baruch Aleinu. So the same thing here. Chazal said that the time to say Atachin and Tonu is in Atachin, and the only way to say Atachin is to say 18 full brachas. So a woman has to say 18 full brachas. Chazal never said otherwise.
Right.
That's the thing. Chazal just said that Ezra was mataken such a takona. And if you say that women and men are equal and everything is Shabbos, so unless they tell me otherwise, I have to think that women are men, exactly the same thing. So v'chayav gam l'hava. It's a very parallel din because I don't know if women,
They never make a toilet in my family.
no, but if this
But they also don't have the
they don't right.
Right.
According to this, women
The only
once
thing
a
about
week.
Hamas-
Once a week they have to daven.
No,
Once a
no.
week they have to daven.
They say Baruch Hamas B'Chodesh L'chol, that's it.
Right, but if the Rav is saying that they have no, according to this sheet,
Right.
they have to daven.
Alter Rebbe, it sounds that the mechuyev once a week, the
Once a week they have
mechuyev
to
to
daven.
daven,
For the purpose
might
of,
have.
so that they
Then
can
the
make
Lord
it
could,
instead of
right, they can make Havdala.
And it's Madna.
No, but that's what the Alter Rebbe says. It's clear in the words here. Nei shehukir zach l'shamar, v'chav is gam kol havo
I
b'tfilah.
mean, he's not saying, he's saying according to those sheetas.
Yeah, right. Good. But he's saying it very clear. According to that shita, chayiv gamken, chayova is gamken lahavdal b'tfilah. They're chayiv to do havdala b'tfilah. Ve'ala kois, ketakon atzchom shetikal anem kois shetikal anosha. So because minatoyre they're chayiv in the ikar havdala, so kol gma shetiknu chachamim kein deiraisa tiknu. And if in the foundation, when women are the same when it comes to everything in Shabbos, so also all takonot chachamim, men and women are exactly the same.
they're obligated in this shita. They're obligated in both, in the tefillah and the havdalah with the coat.
Yeah.
Two.
Yeah.
Okay.
Wait, but sorry, why don't they have to make Kiddush on the Kois themselves, Lil Shabbos?
Why can't they hear it themselves? That is better, but
No.
this
Why don't we make them say it? In other words, you never once saw a woman hold up a Kois to make Kiddush.
Because her husband makes it for her.
So why don't you say the same thing about no?
Because her husband makes it for her.
Saying, so why do we make her do it in tefillah if it's she'll only hear it from her husband?
No, but
Because they required both, but it was only both out because they went back and forth. So Chazal said you have to do both.
by
But-
Kiddush they
but
never
what-
did that. They
right.
never said you need both. By
Right,
Kiddush they never did that.
right. But okay. But Poil, they don't do both.
The Poil, the women don't do it, is a good child. But Poil, it was once in the summer a few years ago, then I was giving a shir by Pirkei Avos, and a woman asked about the tefillah. It turns out that every single woman sitting by the shir didn't
Daven.
realize the fundamental. No,
Oh,
because
the
they come to
important-
shul, and the women sit konias. They wanted, so they start with matoivu. But I said that look, you're not mechuyev to say matoivu. All your mechuyev is to say, according to the opinion that women are mechuyev to daven, is to come to shul and start right away with Shemoneh Esrei. If you want to be at Tzidkonis, then start.
Shomer and Asher.
No, start from Vayomer Hashem Moshe Leimer,
No.
Dabra, and then say Emes V'Yatziv, say Yisoymach Gula L'Tfila, and then you're at Tzadek as Gemura. Not one woman could accept what I said. It does no, but what do you mean? We have to daven. I said, but you're not mechuyev if you have later time. So come and start from. So you know what? Start from Shema. Stay from Shema till after Shemoneh. And if you have more time, then say brachas, karbonas, Baruch She'oma, Yishtabach. Say what you want later. No one can understand that.
They have to daven on the Seder. They don't
Right.
have to walk as though they-
Right.
They might stop in the middle to do something, but
I mean, what's wrong, according to you, if they
Because they don't end up, because then they never end up getting to Shemona Esrei. And then after Suda Shabbos, they chapa siddur, and they're all like, and they feel guilty all day because they didn't get to davening. They don't, they're not enjoying Shabbos. So I think they should come into shul right away, start from Shema till after Shemona Esrei, and then if they have time later in the day, they'll do Baruch Shomar.
They have a big mitzvah to stay home and take care of the kids and come to shul and that.
No, but I'm saying even women that do come, they come late.
is not that in that league yet. They're finished with the kids young. Most of the ladies.
Yeah, but still, even women that don't have little children, right? Even if they don't have little children at home, maybe.
There's very few women up there that have young children at home.
Right, but still, they have.
Maybe 2 out of 20,
True.
or maybe 2 out of 40.
You got 40 people back or something.
Yeah. Well, there's a kiddish for sure.
Yeah. Yeah.
Showing it, huh? Yeah, impressive.
But according to the other opinion, that the mitzvah of Zachar is only when you enter Shabbos, but not when you go out of Shabbos. So there is an opinion that disagrees. They say no, Zachar Shabbos L'Katcha means Kiddush.
Only.
Yeah, they say Havdala is only with the Rabbanon. So within that opinion, there's 2 opinions. If Havdala is midrabanan, they say no, but the women are chayiv. Ben shel ben shel v'seifrim. V'af shekol ma'aser Shabbos ish v'isha Shabbos nachal dvarim shelom v'seifrim. Even though ma'aser Shabbos, men and women are exactly the same, but here is different. Hal ben Shabbos b'dvarim shemin haTorah navzocha v'shamu. Hishrucham gam d'vrem shetikra machlal tzchiras Shabbos hashmirasei. When in the midst of zocha v'shamer, the Torah said they're the same. Chazal said they're the same. Aval Havdala ain't in Yelishminis Shabbos. Havdala has nothing to do with Shabbos. Eladover Retruba Fnei Atzmai. Shetikna Chav LaHavdala Ben Kodesh LaChoil LaMatzlam Smach Ben HaTorah Shenemar LaHavdala Ben HaKodesh Ben HaChoil. It's a different, nothing to do with. It's not a din in Shabbos. It's not a din in Shabbos. It says in Pasha Shmini that a Jew has to know how to separate Ben HaKodesh and Ben HaChoil, Ben HaTomeh, Ben HaToyer, Ben HaChaya and HaCheles, or Ben Chaya Shaloi Teochel. Yeah, but who has nothing to do with women? They're not obligated in this. Men are obligated to clearly differentiate. Women already know it without making a declaration. They have a
certain way.
They know already what's Kodesh and what's Choil and what's Tomei, what's Toyer. The men, they have to be Emor, V'amarta, Lahazak, Del Malaktana. Women don't need that. Good. Within this opinion, that Havdala is only the Rabbanon, they say no. They say, what do you mean? No. True, Havdala is the Rabbanon, but why did the Rabbanon say to do Havdala? To sanctify Shabbos. It has to do with the Kedushas of Shabbos. Shemaskirin Havdala ben Kedushas Elechoil. Therefore, they are obligated. Every called candidates tiknu. Shanoshim chavos bezachav shem matar kanoshim chanirke.
So why don't they sit down and Shemana Friday night?
No, because Friday night. No. They're not obligated. No, because Friday night, Chazal never made a takona, a special takona to make kiddush betfila. Chazal made only one takona, make kiddush with wine. But by Havdala, they made 2 takonas. And according to some Rishonim, both takonas stand till today. They never made a takona to... The Torah says, so that's betfila. Chazal said, I want you also to make a kodesh shel yain. But Mehechi Tesi, the women are mechuyev betfila.
Isn't that Ian Skiris Shabbos Kedush also?
No, because the Torah said to do it betfila. Chazal said you could do it on a kois. So now that you do it on a kois, so why do you have to do it betfila? The only reason
the men should stop too. So men should also stop.
The men are doing it because not that because they have to daven ma'ariv anyway, and it doesn't make sense to daven at tefillah and Shabbos and not mention kedushas of Shabbos. It doesn't make sense. They're like shachris. It's shachris. There's no mitzvah of kiddush really.
But are you yotzed the deraisa zachar shem Shabbos? So when you say vaychulu in Shemona Esrei, are you yotzed the deraisa and then at home it's only the rabbanan?
Yeah.
You are. So
Yeah.
you made that the ikr.
Yeah, good. But if a person didn't
Didn't do it in Shmoneh.
didn't daven Shmoneh Esrei,
And
and he made kiddush, so good. So he didn't daven mine. Sure, nicht gefällt. But he did the mitzvah by doing kiddush. He did the 100% the mitzvah of kiddush. Mashenkin by Havdala, if he
did
didn't
one and didn't do the other,
so he did an avla.
According
He's
to the one
missing,
of-
right? He's missing a little bit. He's missing. He did a little bit of an avla.
I could think only one time a year the women will say Havdalah. When Pesach, fourth night of Pesach come out on Motzei Shabbat.
Yeah.
That's the only time I think.
No, it's another time.
Why?
When Yom Kippur comes out on Motzei Shabbos, and they have to eat.
So they don't make
Make
Havdalah. They
Havdalah.
make the husband make Havdalah.
No, the husband can't eat. So the woman will make Havdalah.
When? Start again.
Let's say
Yom
a woman
Kippur
is,
night.
woman is pregnant or whatever, she has to,
Oh,
Keep
okay.
an eye.
Fine. Oh, okay, fine.
so she would have to make Havdalah Motzei Shabbos, Yom Kippur.
Yeah. Okay.
It's a good one.
Right. Sagt der Alte Rebbe, it's Mustabe, the Alte Rebbe says, be'emes, really, this opinion should be right. The women should be obligated with the Rabbanon. Komakim yishlachis l'shmor rishonim. Shelo yavdel l'noshim mi she'ein tzorach lavdel b'shvil atzma shkoyet tzorech abasai. We have to be choshish for the opinion that says women are not obligated. So therefore, if you are already yotzed, you can't make for women. If no other male gedolim or ktanim are listening, so you can't ela noshim balvad, you can't make kiddush or havdalah for them. Why? Shalafi svara rishayna shenoshim v'teres havdalah. Hadezim avarach levatala. You make a barach levatala. Because again, when are you allowed to make havdalah for another yid?
Arvus.
When there's arvus. He didn't make havdalah. I didn't make havdalah. But for a woman, she's not obligated, according to one opinion, to make havdalah. What do you mean? She didn't make havdalah. I didn't make havdalah. She doesn't have to make havdalah. So why am I making havdalah a second time to bracha levatala?
But aren't women mechuyev their rights to keep Shabbos?
Right, Zochav Hashem, they're equal. No
Yeah.
difference, men and
And
women.
why is the Havdalah different?
So this, if you say it's divrei seif from there, Havdalah has nothing to do with the Shabbos. Gor and the Shetamit Shabbos has nothing to do. It's just a pasuk lahavdol ben hakodesh ben hakoil.
It's only the Ramon.
It's the Ramon and v'zagufa. It's not like the Shabbos. It's nothing to do with Shabbos. It's just Shabbos. It's Shabbos. It's a special mitzvah.
Why don't they not talk to me if you're keen about this? How we're going to put it in the hall? Havdalah.
I know it sounds strange, but the Rishonim will say this.
Okay, but where do we get off
The Maggid Mishnah yesterday that we looked in the Rambam, that's what the Maggid Mishnah says. The problem is because the Gemara doesn't say by Kiddush. The Gemara says more specifically. By Havdalah, the Gemara doesn't say the pasuk, doesn't darshan a pasuk. The Gemara just tells a story that Ezra was matakim first Havdalah ala kois betfila because they were aniyim. Then they became ashirim, so he made it ala kois. And then Chosr Behenu, so they said, okay, you know what, you could pick, you could do.
Well, before Ezra, there were no people out. Everybody just played their own way. So maybe that's well. Before then, you just say, well, Shabbat Yavach is over. That's Havdalah.
That's the problem. But the Gemara doesn't say what was before that. So now do you have a machlokas rishonim? According to the Maggid Mishnah, the posuk is lahavdil ben hakodesh ben hakoil. It sounds strange, but that's what he holds. Aval anoshim atzman, women themselves, yicholos lahavdil atzman, they can make havdalah for themselves. Afim em pturis, even they are not obligated. K'moshen yicholos lavarach al kol mitzvah say shazman grama. They can make a bracha in every mitzvah say. Shemekayim she'en a bracha levatol. It's not a bracha levatol. K'moshen is bar b'sim yud zayin. They can make it, put on tefillin, they can make a bracha. They can put on tzitzis, they can make a bracha. They can do any mitzvah, they can shake a lulav and make a bracha. They can shofar it, they can do everything.
They could blow shofar?
Yeah. Not for men. Not for men.
No.
For themselves. Ein leish yatzidei chavas rashviyas havdalah man eisha. Kedei lachos l'shor rishayna. But on the other hand, a man can't hear havdalah from a woman. Because according to that opinion that the woman is not obligated, so how could she make right? I could hear from someone who's obligated. If someone's not obligated, they can't.
Okay, but let's say they live in Alaska and there's only them two, and he can't for whatever reason. They should hear I'll suffer.
They can't. Yeah, you should hear yourself. Yeah.
She could always make the bracha, because they can make on a lulav.
Right.
It's not havdalah.
Yeah, so it's
They're not mechayev, but it's not
Chiyam
havdalah.
ha-mitzvah, not chiyam ha-mitzvah.
Yesterday I mentioned a shaila from Rav Zilberstein, son-in-law of Rav Eliashiv. So I found that at Emesis, my brother helped me get this in English. I didn't realize they have this sefer translated in English.
Harav now.
Yeah. So here is a copy, so you could see the. Here, David, you want to read for us?
Sure. Can you read
Yeah,
top?
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, read.
Chapter Havdala, Zocher, Yom Shabbat Lakatsho, Remy Shabbos, Day to Sanctify it, Shemot 27, the challenge. A religious soldier fought in the front lines during Operation Cast Lead, the Israeli Defense Force initiative to halt rocket fire from Gaza in 2008. All Friday night, he was engaged in intensive combat and never had a chance to make Kiddush or eat a Shabbos meal. He did not go off duty until Shabbat afternoon, when he returned to his barracks and fell into bed in a state of utter exhaustion. A few hours later, he was woken up and told to get ready to go back into combat. He looked at his watch and saw there was just half an hour left until Shabbat was over. Realizing he would likely have to fight through the night again and would not have a chance to recite Havdala, he remembered the words of Shulchan Aruch, which says this: if a person will be unable to recite Havdala after Shabbat, such as if he must wait by the Tachum, Shabbos boundary, until Shabbat is over, or in order to travel for the sake of a mitzvah immediately after Shabbat, he may daven Mariv from Plaga Mincha 1¼ hours before Shabbat is over, and recite Havdala then. But he may not recite the bracha over the candle, nor perform malachas until the stars appear. He recited Havdala and then received new information that his group would not be going out to the front for another 2 hours. He then had time to clear his thoughts and remember that he had not yet recited Kiddush on Friday night. Normally, if a person forgets or even neglects to recite Kiddush on Friday night, he may recite it on Shabbos day until the conclusion of Shabbat. On the other hand, he had already recited Havdalah to mark the conclusion of Shabbat. Was it too late for him to now recite Kiddush, which marks Shabbat's commencement? So far, so good?
Yep.
What's the Harav mean?
Solution.
Because he made Havdala already.
Yeah, what's the Harav mean? He can go back now and be
Can I
Mechad
go-
Shabbos.
Yeah.
Shabbos is all finished for him.
No.
Okay, read.
Can he do
Solution.
it?
Wow.
Solution.
Solution.
Let's say.
The same question was asked by the Adaris, Rabbi Eliyahu
David Rabbeinu with Taimim.
Simon, and his lucky treatise Over Oirech. On the one hand, although Havdalah has already been recited, it is still Shabbat according to Torah law. Therefore, there is still reason to recite Kiddush. On the other hand, we find in Shulchan Aruch that if a person davened Mariv before sunset and then remembered he had not yet worn tefillin, may no longer wear them that day, since through his Mariv prayers he signified that he considered it night. He considers it night. Perhaps the same may be said in our case. Although through his Havdalah he has shown that he considers Shabbat to have ended. Nevertheless, the Adaris rules that he should recite Kiddush since Shabbat is not really over and he is still forbidden to perform malacha. The obligation of Zechira to remember Shabbat by reciting Kiddush parallels the obligation of Shmira to refrain from performing malacha on Shabbat. As long as Shmira still applies, so too does Zechira. The same conclusion is reached on Shmir Shabbat in Chochasa, in the name of Reb Shlomo Zalman Auerbach, who offers an additional reason. The Kiddush and Havdalah are both based on the verse, remember the Shabbos day to sanctify it. Our sages interpreted this as a Torah obligation to declare the holiness of Shabbat as it enters and as it departs. Rambam. Thus, Kiddush and Havdalah are not at all mutually exclusive. To the contrary, they both declare the sanctity of Shabbat. Therefore, one may recite Kiddush after Shabbat afternoon, even after having recited the Havdalah.
Very nice. And then the footnote 50 says no, that somewhere else it sounds like Shlomo Zalman Auerbach said differently. Okay, anyway, that's
Something else. I just learned something else with a similar idea.
there is a similar shaila, like we said yesterday, that a person who had for whatever reason he couldn't say Shema all night, and now it's a loisa shachar. He's allowed to say we make believe it's night for him, and we tell him you could say Shema Krishma Shalarvis. But and also we say that a person who is nechpaz laderech, he has to go out on the road. Right after Lois Shachris, they create Krishma Shel Shachris. But we say one person, well, you can't do both things. You can't be drunk all night, and then by Lois Shachris say, no, I'm saying it's night, and 2 minutes later turn around and say, well, but I'm nechbas laderech. I have to run out on the road. It's a nun ches iftes.
I was just in Ben Gurion Airport, way before I left the house, 4 o'clock in the morning. They're putting tefillin on the people. I said, what you doing? He said, these people are not going to put tefillin today. So the halacha says it's better to put tefillin now with the bracha.
Look, I asked the question, I saw the same thing, and they told me the same answer.
Even before the first Allah
You have to ask the person, are you going to put tefillin later on today? If the person says no, make a bracha.
Does that sound right, Rabbi?
Sounds funny to me. Sounds funny to me,
Sounds
but
funny.
maybe they asked. I don't know.
It was probably after 5 o'clock.
My brother is working over there, so I asked him, so he says it's good for the pushka.
I had a similar shayla. One of the bochrim.
Maybe they did it
that were
without a
here.
bracha. Is it possible they did
No,
it
he said,
With
the
a
Rav
bracha?
told him that you have to ask the person, you're going to put tefillin today? If he said no, told him make a bracha. If the person told you you're going to put tefillin later on, just put the tefillin on because he might not. But
Depends upon a machloket of the Talmud, whether the tefillah is high, you have Torah, it has to be a
Right.
Torah.
If it's man tefillah, if it's not belayla, it's the rabbanon or the raisa. Right.
Oh, so that's to say that.
Right.
But the toil we were knowing today that it's that you do it without a bracha. Before Rosh Hashanah.
Right. So a person who goes out on the road, if he's walking, the din is he could put it on even before Alois without a bracha.
Right. Comes to Lois.
we have over here in Flatbush Minyanim 5 o'clock in the morning today.
Yeah, but they don't put on tefillin. They don't put on the tefillin until Ad Sheyakir.
Right.
Ad Sheyakir, then they put on tefillin. They daven until the Shtabach, and then they make a bracha, and then they say Berachos Kriyashma. Just save 7 minutes. And they do that.
They have to go on the road.
I guess so, to save 7 minutes. They do something very good, yeah.
If we ask this question once, let's say Shabbos is Rosh Chodesh, and it's summertime. You're davening Friday night, early Shabbos. You're saying Yalav Yovo, Yishma, even though it's not Rosh Chodesh.
Winter,
Shabbos is Rosh Chodesh.
5:45.
Friday is not Rosh Chodesh. But you daven Shabbos early.
Right.
And you daven Ma'ariv, you do say Yalav Yovo, even though it's not Rosh
Good,
Chodesh.
but here is a tarta the sasre. So now that you see the shaila, so bring it back to what the Rebbe was saying. So the Rebbe said that there's 3 things how you could say Zach Hashem Shabbos Lakadshe. One is Zach Hashem Shabbos Lakadshe means you have to make Kiddush, just like Kiddush HaChodesh, just like Kiddush HaYovel. That this brings Kedusha into Shabbos. But what's Havdala? Havdala is a different story. Second shot is Zach Hashem Shabbos Lakadshe is Kedusha means Havdala, to separate. In order to show that this day is separated from all other day, we make Kiddush going in, Havdalah when we're going out. And the third shot in Zach Hashem Shabbos Lakadshe is, like the Rambam says, is to exalt Shabbos. Keloimar mitzvah, the Rambam says mitzvah na Torah Lakadosh Shabbos, b'dvarim shem Zach Hashem Shabbos Lakadshe, keloimar zachrei zachiras shevach, to exalt Shabbos. And the Rebbe says, what's an afkamina?
What does that have to do with Myron and Abdullah according to the Rambam?
Oh, that's a big difference. It's a big difference.
No, I'm saying besides the Machmin and Halacha, what is he saying?
He's
You have to
saying
make a Kiddush and a Abdullah?
that Kiddush Havdalah is exactly the same thing.
Oh.
It's exactly the same thing. It's the pshat of Zach Hashem Shabbos Lakadshe is that you have to exalt Shabbos. You have to talk about the Gewalt of Shabbos. So right when you come in, you exalt Shabbos, and when you go out of Shabbos, you have to remember Shabbos. So in the other 6 days of the week, you also remember Shabbos.
It's hard to do it the same way.
Interesting, the Rambam catch the Chassidus shit.
What to say? The Rambam catches a Chassidus shita. That according to Chassidus, what's the pshat of Havdalah is that the whole inyan of Kedushas of Shabbos is to bring the Kedusha of Shabbos into all 6 days of the week. That's why we make Havdalah according to Chassidus, to bring the Kedusha of Shabbos into all the 6 days of the week. So it turns out that that's the way it's according to the Rambam. Zochas Shabbos Lakadshe means that also, just like the Ramban says, 6 days of the week you have to have Zochas Yom Shabbos Takachi. Yom Rishon B'Shabbos, Sheni B'Shabbos, Shlishi B'Shabbos. We're always remembering Shabbos. Havdalah is in order we should remember the Kedusha Shabbos 6 days of the week. And then one of the nafkaminas that Rebbe says is that if we say that that's the Pshat, so Minat Torah, if I say Kiddush instead of Havdalah instead of Kiddush, it makes no difference. Who cares? Who cares? So if that's according to that Mahalach, so Rabbi Zilberstein was right. Rabbi Zilberstein was right. Why is the fact that he made first Havdalah? How is that a contradiction to Kiddush? There is no contradiction. But if you say like the Rambam says in Sefer HaMitzvahs, that you have to have a boundary when you go in, and you have to have a boundary when you go out. You have to know when you're going into Shabbos, and you have to.
So the Havdalah ended the Shabbos.
Havdalah ended the Shabbos. You can't. So it depends. If you go like the Rambam in Sefer HaMitzvahs, so Taka, once he said Havdalah, it's over. But if you stay like the Rambam in the Mishnah Torah and the Yad Chazaka, so why would it be a contradiction? Just because he made Havdalah, why shouldn't he be able to make Kiddush? There's two mitzvahs. There's the two parts of the same mitzvah. Zochas Yom Shabbos V'Kacha means that like the Rambam puts it all together. It makes it the same thing. There's a mitzvah to remember Shabbos on Shabbos, and there's a mitzvah remembering Shabbos all 6 days of the week.
But there's also an Indian in halacha of nimlach. And when you change your mind, when you show that you don't want to keep a certain way, so that means that you have to make it to a mitzvah. So here, when you decide that you want to make Havdalah, you're like saying, I want. You know what I'm saying? It's not. If he would have, let's say he did it by accident, he was masasik, and he made Havdalah. So then I could see making kiddush. But most people isn't only when they're saying Havdalah, they want to end Shabbos. How can he now go and make kiddush?
No, but in this specific shaila, it wasn't because of that. It was just that he was thinking he has to go back to fight. So he figured, no, it wasn't.
Right.
It wasn't because
exactly.
he wanted.
But in the cases in the Alter Shulchan Aruch, it's different.
Right. Okay. Yeah. But Lagabi, his shaila.
This guy shaila because he wants to fight.
Lagabi, this guy's shaila,
He
you
didn't
could
really
say.
want to end Shabbos.
Right. So you could
He
say
just
it's
wanted to make Havdalah so that he would not be able to do it.
Yeah, Chveis, he figured who knows what's going to be later. So Lagabi, this shaila, there's an afkamina. If you say like the Rebbe's Chiddush and the Rambam, so Kiddush and Havdalah is not a contradiction. But if you say like the Rebbe brings from the Sefer HaMitzvahs, that Kiddush is to declare we just walked into Shabbos, and Havdalah is to be marihid bodli mishor hayomim, so then, okay, he declared that Shabbos is out. Upon the Eibush shall help him that we should be able to take from Kedushas to Shabbos, bring it into all 6 days of the week, and often that all the 6 days of the week will become a Yom Shekula Shabbos Amanoch L'chai Elam.
I heard the word that says Isko, Zochar Shabbos. Right? Isko for the people of Moritz that don't have a parent. So these people doesn't need a reminder. Isko is for the people who have parents. Remember that you have.
Who said that?
The mitzvah, yeah.
But those people have to go out and do it.
Usually Isko is what you remember the Neshama. Right. The people who don't have parents, they remember that every day.
All right, well, we just had a
people who
Yisra
have parents,
about the God,
remember that
about
you
the
have,
God of
you
war.
will have a hand.
You still have the tzitzis hanging from that.
They should fill up like the Egyptians did with water. They should fill up all the Hamas with water. Why can't they do it?
No, the Egyptians.
If the Egyptians can do it, instead